Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Dream Life Loading Podcast, Season 2, Episode 23. I'm your co-host, Skye.
And I'm your co-host, Susan. How are you today, Skye?
I'm hanging in there, Susan. I feel like, so the season ended on Thursday, and it's always like, at the end of a season, it always ends so abruptly because you don't, especially with them being in playoffs this year, like we didn't know exactly when it was going to be. And then like that game happened on Thursday and it was like, okay, that's it. And it was just like a lot of goodbyes and like just a lot of people leaving, and especially like two people that we got so close to, we had to say goodbye to. And it's just, it reminded me of like saying goodbye to my friends and family at home, which made me so sad. But then it also, and I even said to the guys last night when we were saying goodbye, I was like, how lucky are we that like we care so much about this goodbye, you know?
Yeah.
And so as sad as it was like we created family here. Like we really had family this year that we did not have last year or in previous years. So feeling a little bit like it's an end of an era in a way, like we had such a high with this team in this season. So we're just kind of like coming down from that because it was like crazy, 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 crazy. And now it's like, okay, now nothing. So
Mm.
just kind of like figuring out our new routines and figuring out like where we go from here and all of that. I have a new background. I was given some feedback. So we're trying out lots of new. I feel like we're like entering a new chapter in so many ways. But yeah, I think this episode is going to be the perfect like way to lead me into this next this next phase as well. So I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm coming off of having a week off for the first time in 2 years. So
Is that
yeah,
true?
yeah, I have not had a vacation since I was a teacher. So yeah, 2 years. My last true vacation was April vacation of when I was teaching. So it's literally been almost a full 2 years. I
And
just
that's
don't.
mixed in with like, look at all the life changes you've had in 2 years without any break. Like wedding, like I can't even like,
Yeah.
wow,
A
Susan.
whole the first whole week uninterrupted.
Yep.
We had taken a half a week last July, and then I got COVID literally that day that our vacation started. So then I just spent our 3 days on the couch because I was so sick.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how important time off is. And I think I'm just someone that's just so go, go, go that it never really occurred to me. And about like by Wednesday, I was like, oh, Chris went snowmobiling, and I was like, I'm gonna be home alone all day. I was like, I could work. And then I was like, no, like I could also just go do something for just me. So I went to my favorite coffee shop that I haven't been to in literally probably over a year. And I did some work for Dream Life Loading. I did personal work, and I just worked on enhancing my life, which is ironic because that is the topic of today's episode. And one last thing before we jump into
Yes.
that is I threw my husband a surprise 30th birthday party on Saturday, and it was last minute because technically Saturday was supposed to be the day we were flying home because we were supposed to go to North Carolina, but we had to cancel our flights.
Blessing
Um,
in disguise, I think.
yes,
Side note, I
it
feel
was
like
genuinely the best thing for us because we really got to like focus on ourselves, focus on home. I got to throw this party for Chris. So he had literally no clue, like I said, because that day was supposed to be a travel day. So I invited his family, or a little bit of my family, his family, and our friends. And he legitimately had no clue. He was so shocked when he walked through the door. And I am just so glad that we pulled it off. No one blew it. And we had a great time.
that's awesome. I love hearing all the different pieces of this, and I feel like I already told you this, but I'm going to tell it for the record here as well. That like as your friend, I can just like not even like I'm not even in person with you, and I can physically and emotionally and mentally tell the differences from like two
Yeah.
weeks ago you to now, and it really is just like I'm so grateful for you that you had this time. Just like the universe could not do anything more but like scream in your face like Susan, sit down and stop.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that like it finally got through and you had that time to just completely reset and like fall in love with yourself again. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for you, but it felt like there was a disconnect. And I think with pregnancy that obviously could be so easily like it's so easy to happen because there's so many changes
Mhm.
going on. You're focusing on the baby that you're growing, less on yourself. And so to just really like come together with yourself and your husband and your future baby that you are growing, it's just I feel like really important.
Yeah, and I think that a key note of that too, it's I love my job. Like I genuinely do. And it's not that my job was like draining the life out of me or anything like that. Cause sometimes like when you're burnt out, like that is the cause of it. That wasn't it at all for me. It's just because I am pregnant, I don't have as much energy as I used to. So like what I used to be able to do in one day was like split the day in half, work on my work stuff and then work on my me stuff. And I just don't have the energy or the capacity or the bandwidth really to do both. And I was getting overwhelmed because there was so much. And when I got overwhelmed, I was like, I'm just not going to do anything. I'm going to take a nap. Um, so just having that uninterrupted time to work on just
Yeah.
me was invaluable. It was
And I
amazing.
think the reflection, because 2 weeks ago you would not have been comfortable saying, like, I don't have the energy to do all these things I used to be able to do. Like, you would have thought, like, there's something wrong with me. Like, I'll push through. I have to be able to do what I could do before I was literally growing a child. But I think now the fact that you took a week, you reflected, and you're like, look, like, this is where I'm at, and I'm going to meet myself there and stop putting so much pressure. And you were putting so much guilt on yourself for not being able to
Yeah.
perform. But like you mentioned, maybe it was last week's episode where like growing a baby is like running a marathon every single day.
Yeah.
What? So I think that self-reflection is so freaking important. And clearly it is, because look, it made a world of difference. Like it's a full 180.
Oh, 1000%. 1000%. Which is perfect for today's episode because it's all about enhancing your life. And when I was taking my notes for this episode, I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, like, I think for myself, anyways, enhancing my life is simplifying my life and elevating the daily tasks and my environment.
Yes. I feel like we have to give a shout out to Mercedes because
Yeah.
she unintentionally gave us the inspiration for this episode. She always does, it's the sweetest thing. She sends me like a 5 to 8 minute long voice memo, and I always know I'm like, oh, it's my podcast feedback. And she gives like the most amazing, like, she listens to every episode. She knows us. Like, it's the sweetest thing. And she was talking about our episode from habits maybe from like a month ago or so, and she said something where she was like, when you guys said this, it made me think that I want to start spending more time on this and this. And she was like, I just really want to enhance my life. And I was like, oh, stop right there. Oh my god, that phrase. And I said it to her and I was like, do you realize what you just said? And she was like, no, but run with it. So like I kind of took it as we're enhancing our lives, almost like think of aspects of your life like accessories. Like your outfit could be a t-shirt and jeans, but if you add earrings or a headband or sunglasses or even makeup or nail polish, like all these little details that you add to your outfit just add some spice and positivity, and it makes you feel better and better and better. So we're looking at aspects of our life like accessories. And I just
Yeah.
think it's so fun. Like, even we've been brainstorming on this one for a couple weeks because we really wanted to
Yeah.
have it like nailed down. And I feel like we've both started implementing some of these things already because of the timing. So I'm really excited to dig into this.
How did you break your notes down? Because I did mine by like category of life.
I did so manic, it's not even funny. So
Okay, so we just need to pick a point and start.
if you organized correctly, I will follow your lead.
Okay. So I started with physical health
Great.
and I started using the Alive app last week. It was like Tuesday. And honestly, kind of the first part of the vacation, I was kind of like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I had no routine. I was just kind of all out of sorts. And I have been really struggling in the gym since I've been able to go back. If you guys have been here, in the beginning of my pregnancy, I had like a herniated disc. I was pretty much useless. Like I was in so much pain. I just laid on the couch and cried. And so I wasn't in the gym, and that was huge for my mental health. So I was like, I need to figure out something that works for me in the gym. And I realized, well, one, I need to stop depending on people. All my gym buddies are gone or doing something else. So I was like, okay, so now it's just me. How can I commit myself and be excited about it?
Yeah.
The Alive
That's
app by
the key word, Susan. Being excited about it. That I feel
yeah,
like it's like you need to be excited
yeah,
about every single aspect of your routine and daily
yeah,
life. So love that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I got the Alive app by Whitney Simmons, and I will admit I follow her, but I had never tried any of like her Instagram workouts or TikTok workouts. Like I'm just not that girl anymore. In college, I would follow like Instagram workouts, but I don't have like the patience, I don't think, for it anymore. So I was like, I'm gonna try her app. One of my friends is doing 75 hard right now, and she's using her app for one of the workouts each day. And I was like, I'm gonna give it a go, just see how I like it. I cannot stress it enough. I love it so much. The setup of it, it's pretty, it's fun, it's functional. And I was like, this is so exciting. And I have gone 7 days in a row. I have not missed a day. And tomorrow I'm gonna rest because my body's like, girl, what are we doing? But I'm very excited about that piece of it because it takes the thinking out. Like I don't have to stress about it. I check the night before what kind of movements we're gonna do. So I pick out my outfit and then I'm good to roll. Like it is
You're
so
a
nice.
personal trainer, right? Like she kind of has.
Exactly.
How much is it? Like, what's the subscription like?
14.99 a month, which
Okay.
honestly, I was like, for me, I had never spent that much on a monthly subscription for fitness,
Mhm.
anything. I told Chris, I was like, I will cancel for the 1 month that like I'm postpartum. I was
Yep.
like, but this is an expense we will have for the rest of our lives because I am obsessed with it. There's so many different options. This is not promoted, by the way. It should be, but it's
I know.
not.
It's so funny because you and I both are obsessed with Whitney. Like I've been following Whitney for years. I love her. Like I've bought so many of her collections with Gymshark. Like we are obsessed with Whitney, but neither of us have ever used her app. And so that's why I'm so
Yeah.
curious about it because it's so funny of all the things. Why did neither of us think to try this
I
before?
There's at home workouts, there's stretching, there, and that's, I think that's the part that I love the most, especially during pregnancy. I'm
Yeah.
not doing the pregnancy program. I'm doing the advanced because I love a challenge. I'm doing the advanced version of her program called Alive 2.0.
Okay.
And I'm loving it, but it always starts with a warm up and it ends with a cool down. And my body's never felt better because I'm friggin' stretching.
You're
And
doing
that's
it
something I
every
would
day.
never do on my own. So that just like my experience in the gym feels enhanced because I'm doing stuff to take care of my body that I wouldn't naturally or normally do in my routine. And
Yes.
now it's become my favorite part. And there's a journaling part of the app, there's a progress part of the app. You know me, I have not taken, I maybe have one bump picture in my camera roll. I've taken a bump picture every single day because I'm like, oh, look how cute she is. So it's just, it's really enhanced the physical health aspect of my life.
I love, like, it's so worth the money because of all the different aspects you're getting out of it. And if you think about
Yeah.
what what would you pay for a workout class? I know like my hot yoga classes, if I was paying class to class, it was probably like 25 to $32 a class. It got really expensive.
Yeah.
So you're paying 14.99 a month for like a gym class every day. You know, like you show up and
Yeah.
you can be totally oblivious, which
And
what
it tracks everything. Like it's just, it's really nice. I bring my tripod every day and I put my phone on the tripod just so that I don't have to. The gym is so gross. Like our gym is dirty. So to not have to put my phone down like on the ground or on stuff, that's nice in itself. But then it's like I can use it to record. I have vlogged almost every day because I have all my equipment set up and it's just easier that way. Like it's making the things I love easier, which is the whole point.
I want to go back to something you said. You said that you were something along the lines of you were finally focusing and understanding what you were doing to help yourself. Like
Yeah.
instead of just showing up at the gym and like doing squats because you feel like you should, like you're doing a program that you understand how it's helping you. And that was like along the lines of a lot of different things I wrote down was like what can you actually do that's going to like put a what am I trying to say? Put a meaning behind what you're doing in your routines and
Making it intentional.
exactly, which is literally my it's kind of both of our words of the year, was it
Yeah.
not?
I kind of stopped using the word purposeful and I've literally been just using intentional.
Yes.
So
But it makes such a difference. Like I have always wanted to be one of those like skincare girlies, but I never took the time to understand like what am I doing and why should I be doing it? Like what type of skin do I have? Like all these different things. So I actually brought it up in conversation with some of the girls a couple weeks ago, and I didn't know if it would catch on. I kind of like you never know. Like you say something and people
yeah.
and like want to include in the conversation. And one of the girls was like, "Oh my God, yes, like I got you. Go follow this girl on TikTok. Here's the products I use. Maybe this would work for you." And I loved the process of doing the research on products that would work for my skin or maybe work. Like you never know until you try. And then I ordered them and then you get them in the mail and then you start using this new routine. And it's like, I look forward to my morning and nighttime skincare routines because it's a ritual that I'm doing simply for myself. And like that alone feels so amazing. But then it's also, I know what products I'm putting on my skin and what they're doing for me versus like, okay, I throw this on because I saw somebody do it and this drunk elephant thing is probably going to make my life amazing. It's like, well, what's the point of that? You know? So I'm really enjoying being like hyper intentional about what I do, like with my morning lemon water, which I think honestly goes into totally like that is like a life accessory for me, is starting my morning
Yeah.
with that and just all these things that you're doing with purpose. Which I mean, you put on a bow for the purpose of looking cute, so I feel like it's all like all along the same lines.
You know what? You now that you just said that about the lemon water, you are the one who inspired me, like essentially to take on this topic. At my bachelorette party, you brought greens and you had your greens in the morning. I'm like, this girl is like, look at her go. Like it felt like a wellness retreat. And I was like, that's how every day should feel. And you were wearing that sweatshirt with the like little
Yeah,
the slipper thing.
think rich, be no, not
Yes.
rich, be rich.
Yeah, something like that. She's like
Yeah.
a little like character wearing like these fuzzy slippers. Adorable.
Yep.
And I was like, that is, but that's like an enhanced life.
Totally. And I think sticking to that's so funny because I remember it now that you brought it up, but it didn't even like I didn't even think about it in the moment, but like it almost is like you're being high maintenance, but it's you're being high maintenance to make your life low maintenance. Does that
Yes, exactly.
you
But
know, like
I mean, off of all of this, one of my other categories was beauty and wellness.
perfect.
This fits right into your skincare thing. So I recently, like probably within the last year, I have simplified my makeup routine, which I'm thankful for now because I can do my makeup in like 5 to 10 minutes, which will be great with a child.
Yes.
Um, but I said simplify. I can put all of my makeup in one bag. I remember I used to have baskets of makeup and products and stuff that I just didn't need or I didn't use. And it was like physically hard for me to get rid of them. But now that they're not in my life, it is so nice to be able to grab my bag. I get ready anywhere. I get ready up here in my office, in the bathroom, downstairs, like wherever we are, I'm good to go because I have my one bag. And it is just so easy.
I've been doing the same sort of thing with makeup. I think it started I don't know, but you know what? I think it was I was doing all these different steps with my makeup because it just felt like what I should be doing. And then
Yeah.
I would hate how my makeup looked. It was like it feels too oily on my skin. Like so I would honestly I stopped wearing makeup as much because I just hated the way it felt and hated the
Yeah.
way it looked. And then I kind of stopped and I was like, okay, why am I doing all these steps that I don't want to be doing? Like, if I don't want to wear foundation,
Exactly.
no one's telling me I have to do that. And now, same sort of thing. Like, I look forward to my little blush stick and like my, like the little simple products that make me feel good. And it takes
Yep.
less time, so it makes me want to do it, like, and even if something does take more time, I feel like there's elements of these lists that either some of them are going to help make your life easier and take less time or make your life easier and take more time. I think like the
Yeah.
lemon water thing, like I delay my morning coffee every day so that I can have my lemon water first, but then it ends up making my life better because I feel so much better, versus my makeup takes less time and I feel better about it. But
Yep.
all of these things, whether they take more or less time, help so much like mentally and physically because you're doing
Yep.
it for the right reasons.
Yes. I also had under beauty and wellness was to get a signature scent. So
Ooh,
much easier and it's fun. It's like, okay, that's my go-to.
yes.
And then easy hairstyles. I have found so many on TikTok. I tried the viral bun the other day. So cute,
I
so
need to try
easy,
it.
so worth it, so good. And I have really thick hair. Like it's hard to keep my hair up and it worked for that. So that was very exciting. Um and then I also said invest in quality over quantity. So like we had our in-depth conversation about my scrunchies last week. Like that is an investment I will always be making because they're so good.
Yep. I actually realized I had written down skincare and then I kind of went on with like the beauty wellness vibe. So I had done a lot of like teeth for some reason. I think
Yeah.
it went with my skincare routine, so it kind of made sense. Like, so I've started flossing. I honestly, like being completely honest, got out of a habit of doing it every night, and I would just kind of do it like when I thought about it. But when you take the time, you feel so good. Like even we came home at literally, I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and I was in there flossing because I was like, I'm gonna feel so good about myself sticking to it.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing it because I want to, not because I feel like I should. And I think
Yeah.
that's the reason all these other things work too. But then like even my oil pulling, like it's such a ritualistic thing that like I'm taking those few minutes to do that for myself and like focusing on myself. I think and I do it in the shower because it's an easy way to habit stack. And then like Sadie had actually recommended like adding a scrub or a hair mask into your shower. So it's not just
Yeah.
like I think you don't want to just go about your day like doing this, doing this, doing this, doing this without caring about what you're doing. So like when you get into the shower, like appreciate that time. Like do a scrub, do a hair mask, like spend time, like double wash your hair if that's what
Yeah.
fits for your skin type. And like even like making your morning coffee. Like, do you like a cappuccino? Froth your milk, add some syrup, like you're doing these things every day or consistently enough. So why don't you take the time to actually appreciate what you're doing instead of just going through the motions? Like you're going to
Yeah.
appreciate life so much more and it's not going to add that much time. And honestly, I am waking up earlier because I'm excited to do all my little ritual things. So if you think you're not going to have enough time to fit it in, you'll probably end up wanting to get up earlier in order to fit everything in.
Absolutely. That is one thing I know, like, postpartum really scared me for a while, and now that I've, like, talked to moms and, like, read about it, I'm not that scared. But one thing I'm very excited for is coffee on my porch.
Mm.
Like, Chris, hold the baby, or I can bring the baby with me and just coffee on my front porch because I'm not gonna have to clock in. Like, I am going to have all day to hang out and, like, just keep her alive, which is gonna be fun, and coffee on the porch just sounds so nice.
You know me and my coffee on the porch. Like that is a ritual that I will stand by. And the like it doesn't happen every morning, but the mornings where I'm like, I can take the time and do this. It's the perfect way to set up your day, especially as we enter spring and summer where you can really get out in the
Mhm.
sun. And like it is such a privilege, and I understand that, like to have the time to sit out in the morning. But oh my
Yeah.
God, the sun in the morning and just like escaping, especially for people that work from home, like not starting my day like in the same space that I'm going to be working and even like I'm still in the apartment, I'm just outside on the porch makes such a big difference because you escape
Yeah.
your space, like you're around nature, which sounds so stupid and like it actually does make such a difference.
I
And
always have, like, when it's nice out, my lunch is outside.
yes,
Always.
yep,
Even
same
if
here.
I have a covered porch.
Yep. And even with my ring, it gives me insights on like if you want to like adjust your sleep time and like start sleeping
Yeah.
earlier, waking up earlier, all that. It gives me it's a phase activity window. And so when I wake up, it says like, okay, you have 3 hours left to get sunlight to possibly enhance your sleep for the next day. And so I go outside, and even today I went for a walk first thing this morning, and it was like, good job, you did exercise in the morning, which is going to help you towards this, this, and this. So it actually
Yeah.
does have real benefits other than just like feeling nice, which I feel like is benefit enough, but
Right.
it's good stuff. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to talk about supplements too, which was something that I started doing kind of going along with the skincare and everything. I think I've
Yeah.
been on a very intentional, like everything is trying to be more intentional. So I started taking supplements. I take a collagen supplement and then a probiotic. And like I notice a difference, but it's also just once a day. Like I'm taking these supplements for myself and it's not that hard to do. And I looked into like what supplements would be good for what I wanted to target. And it's such an easy thing. So like if you don't think you have time to take like 15 minutes out of your day to meditate or be outside or whatever, like there are still little things like taking a supplement that you can do that just help towards your overall like mental well-being, and obviously supplements are going to help towards your physical well-being as well. But yeah, I feel like there's so many little things you can do and just to feel more like proud of yourself. I think that's like taking pride in your daily habits.
Next winter, I'm definitely gonna do vitamin D because I didn't know if I could pregnant. I was like, I don't need to add anything more. Like, I'm going through enough changes. But the sun comes out and it's like I can feel my soul coming back to my body. And I was like, I'm definitely gonna try that because we do not get sunshine up here at all.
I started doing the vitamin D supplements and I I think I noticed a difference. I also feel pretty lucky here because Murano stays pretty sunny even when it's
Yeah.
cold. But I think I noticed a difference because I didn't feel like the doom and gloom on like those, because we had a ton of rain the past couple weeks and I was like waiting for the sun, but I didn't like, you can mentally feel the difference. So yeah, and that's such an easy one because you just take this pill and it's gonna help you like mentally feel better.
And so I'm taking a prenatal naturally.
Yep.
Um, but the folic acid, my friends, my nails have never been nicer. My
Really?
hair is growing so fast. I mean, my hair's always been thick, but like fast and strong. It is amazing.
That's great. And that's
Yeah.
in the prenatal?
Yeah.
Great.
It's
What
amazing.
else do you have?
Um, okay, so this one I said organization.
Hmm.
So I until we had the house, honestly, and it's so funny. I'm organized in every aspect of my life except for when it comes to personal things, specifically paperwork.
Yep.
I hate it. It gets piled up and then I just shove it out of sight, out of mind. And that's not helpful when you like need an important document. So we got a filing cabinet and I was so against this thing. Like Chris brought it home against my will. I was like, I don't want it. I'm not going to use it. Well, we buckled and Chris and I spent like a whole afternoon organizing everything. Do you know how easy my life is? There's no stress. Like we need last year's taxes. Give me 2 seconds. I know exactly where they are. We need the deed to the house. I got you. Like Maggie's shots from when she was 2.5 years old. I know, like, I got it. So it is just simplified and it has honestly removed probably 80% of my day to day stress. Just knowing all of our paperwork is in order. I know where it is. It's safe. It's fireproof. Thank you. Moving on.
I can totally see that. And I think it's really smart because you you could so easily just like let these things go and be like, "Oh, it's in that pile. I'll find
Yeah.
it." But I mean, you're enhancing your life because you took the time to sort it all out and now like that was pride. Like you felt pride in that and now I'm sure every single time you need to find something, you feel
Yeah.
like excited to go get it because you're like, I know
Yeah.
exactly where that is. Like this is you took something that you have to do, like same as like flossing or brushing your teeth, like all these other things we've talked about. Like you took something that you knew as a adult with responsibilities you had to do and made it something
Yep.
to be proud of.
Two things. One, last week, this is why this came up, was because last week Chris called me like at 9 a.m. and was like, hey, the truck payment, they changed the website. Can you just get me the truck loan number so that but I don't want to send them $600 if we don't need, like, if it's a scam. I was like, yeah, yeah. I went, I picked, like, I knew exactly where it was. It took us 5 minutes combined to solve this problem. That would have taken an hour and a half last year. It was just so nice. The other thing is you brought up flossing, and I don't know why it didn't come up in my brain the first time we mentioned flossing, but Chris and I got water flossers.
Ooh, what do you
They're
think
on,
of it?
yeah, they were on sale on Amazon. They come with 4 or 5 different attachments, which is kind of a funny story. They have one that like goes right around your tooth, and I told Chris it was a tongue scraper. I was like, that one's for your tongue. So he was like sitting there forcing this thing on his tongue. He's like, I don't think it's working. It took me like a week to figure out that it was really just for your teeth, not your tongue. But it works really well. I like it. He's, I think, indifferent. I don't know if he like loves his, but I'm gonna try to use it with my mouthwash to see how that goes instead
Oh,
of water.
interesting. Yeah. I've a lot of people seem to obsess about those, and I think
Yeah.
it's one of those things that honestly like probably doesn't like it probably would go right along with this list. Do you use it every night? Like is it something you feel like consistent
I
about?
use it in the morning.
Oh, see, that's
Yeah.
another thing. Like that works better for your routine.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I honestly kind of forgot about them. I feel like they were a big thing like a couple years ago, and then
And I
like
had never seen one until like a couple weeks ago. And Chris had mentioned it. He was like, I want a water flosser. It's like, what is a water flosser? Like, what? Like this man also loves the dentist.
ew.
He he literally he was like, do you think that they'll put that I have gingivitis on my record so that I can go like 4 times a year? I was like, no. No, sir. He just loves having his teeth cleaned. He's like, they just feel so sparkly. I love it. Who are you? You have to drag me into the dentist because I do not like going
And I will always cry, like whether it's
there.
in the chair or leaving or before. I hate the dentist.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
That is something I do wanna do for next year is I wanna do, like, Invisalign or a
oh,
brand of some
yeah.
but that is something I definitely that's on my enhancement
Mhm.
list.
And I think that's in a way it's kind of so we've talked a lot about a lot of things that don't necessarily take extra money. You know, like
Mhm.
some of these things, if you don't have a water flosser and you'd like one, you could buy one. But a lot of these things are things that you could just do without really having to
Right.
spend much, if any, money. But then something else, I kind of started doing this recently, and that's what prompted me to write it down. But replacing products or like replacing clothing items. And so I'll give my example. I have this white shirt and I wore it constantly last summer and it was from Zara. I think it was like $7, but it like white shirts get stained so easily. This was a cheap shirt from Zara. It got worn out. Like it just, and I wasn't going to wear it anymore. I just like always would try and pick something else in my closet, but then I didn't have the piece I wanted because I was going
Mhm.
with one shirt that I didn't want to wear. And finally I was like, you know what? I just need to go buy a few more shirts. And it was amazing how quickly my mindset shifted. And I was like, I have all these new outfits that I can wear again because I just replaced this $7 shirt. And it's, I feel like a lot of the times we say, like, oh, I have one of those, I don't need to replace one. Bras, I think so many women, like, when was the last time, maybe because you're pregnant, it's different, but like, when was the last time you replaced your bras? Like, I feel like it's these things that like we
Yeah.
just go about and it's like, oh, I have these, like they work for me. Why would I change them? Well, are they actually working for you or is it like a chore to put it on in the morning because it doesn't fit you right? It's old, it's stretched out, like all these things. Like take the time to stop and think like is this just getting you by or is this actually helping you? And a $7 t-shirt if it's actually going to make a difference, see, you don't have to go out and buy four of them. Go out and replace one t-shirt and see if it makes a difference. Like you don't have to live with these products and these things that aren't serving you. Like give the things away. Like you don't have to throw all these clothes away if they're not like ruined. But yeah, it seems so simple, but it honestly does elevate day-to-day life because you're excited to get dressed. You're excited to like do the things you have to do anyways.
Yeah. Going off of that is cleaning out your closet. One
Yes.
stop this is very specific to me, but when my clothes stopped fitting because I was pregnant, mind you, all of my clothes prior to now were cropped because I have such a short torso that if it's not cropped, it looks like I'm wearing a nightgown.
Hmm.
So I had all these cropped things, and I was like, okay, well, now I look like Santa Claus when he's like, in the movie when he's like growing and he has like the crop top, like that's how I look. So we need to do something about it. But every time I was going into my closet, I was like, I have nothing to wear.
Hmm.
I look terrible in all this. And then it would turn into a bomb going off because I would just fling stuff that I knew wasn't going to work for me. So finally, I buckled down and I took everything out that does not fit me pregnant. And I was like, we're just going to put this away. Like, then it's going to be like Christmas morning when she is out and
Yes.
I go up, get all of my clothes that like hopefully fit somewhat, comfortably again. It's gonna be like I won the mega bucks in clothing because I have like 3 totes full of stuff that just isn't wearable right now. And then I'll be able to switch out all my clothes. But having a closet of just stuff that I know is going to fit and make me feel good is
Yep.
huge.
Having stuff that works for you instead of trying to work for the stuff you have and like you're
Yeah.
saying you're going to go and use the same clothes you were already using so it's not even like you're going and like having to buy a brand
Ex-
new wardrobe and I think that could work for a lot of these things too like it doesn't have to be a big money grab but just allowing things to work for you like stop trying to adjust to everything around you like make it work for you that's like I feel like
Yeah.
that's it
One of
favorite.
my other Yeah, we can do favorites.
No, do one more then we'll do
My
favorites.
one was hobbies, and I just wrote never be able to say I'm bored. I
Yes.
feel like this is gonna come out so mean, but I think you're gonna get the sentiment. Boring people get bored.
Yes.
If you have hobbies, you're never gonna be bored.
Mhm.
And I remember someone, I'm not gonna name who, but someone over this vacation was like, "Well, aren't you guys bored?" And I was like, "Bored? Like, do you know how many things I get to do right now that I never get to do? I'm reading, I'm journaling, I'm knitting, I'm doing home DIY crafts. Like, absolutely not, I'm not bored."
Yep.
And so I just think that having finding hobbies that you genuinely enjoy is so important.
Yep. We talked so much about boredom. I don't even know, a couple weeks ago with
We
some,
did an episode, I think.
maybe we did too. Yeah, but I think like I don't know, growing up my mom was like if you say the word bored, like I'm giving you a chore to do. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so true. I love your phrase boring people get bored. And whether if it offends you, then
Maybe you're boring.
no. Yeah, well, maybe it just shouldn't. Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that because there's no reason to be bored. There is always something to do. Like just look at this list or look at one of the
Take a
50
nap.
episodes we've done
I
about things to do.
I'm an avid napper now. Like napping can be your hobby. Just
Absolutely.
don't tell me you're bored.
Yes. All right, we need to rip through favorites here.
My favorite is the Alive app.
Love it. We don't even need to go into more details. My favorite
Exactly.
is my new sunglasses. Look at these.
I have a pair very similar to that.
No,
I
I'm
love that.
so chic. Like,
Yes.
I
Very
feel
bougie.
like, come on.
It's giving Chris Jenner.
Yes, I think they're so, yeah, just such an easy way. Oh my God, the fact that I used an accessory for this episode wasn't even intentional, but it's a lot.
Did you go and get the brown ones?
No, not yet.
Tomorrow's to do.
Tomorrow's
My quote of the week is come on kid, this is your dream. And I think that I've really neglected my dreams lately, but it's like come on kid, like this is your dream, like work on it. There's
Yep,
no excuse.
I love that. Mine, I didn't write one down because I was trying to see like you know that Winnie the Pooh quote where it's like how lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. That's definitely my quote of the week because
Yeah,
it is. It's been a little bittersweet, but it is so like we're just so lucky to have been able to build this community this year. And as sad as it is to see it end, like we all said this, we are like we would not change this for the world. So yeah, we'll end on that.
you guys know what to do. Like and subscribe, leave us a review, comment on Instagram, like what do you want to see, what
Yeah.
should we change. We're here for your constructive criticism.
We love the feedback and like we take it, we talk about it, we voice memo
Yeah,
about it, and we use it seriously. And we cannot like we're here because we want to do better and we want to like tell you how to do better. That's literally the whole point in self-improvement. And if you tell us what you think we can do better, we'll take it and we'll probably make a change. So
absolutely.
love to hear it.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching and listening.